Hello YouTube! We are on the Real Programming channel. It's about HTML and CSS. My name is Andrei. This is our 51 lesson. I greet you. We will talk about the 2-minute grid or 2 hex codes. Specify color using hex codes. Let's go! And now let's tackle those funky looking hex codes. Here's the secret to them. Each set of 2 digits of a hex code just represents the red, green and blue component for the color. So the first 2 digits represent the red, and next 2 the green, and the last 2 represent the blue, like this. Always start the hex code with the hash sign. They specify the red, green and blue components using the 2 digits for each. Wait a sec, how is F or C a digit? Those are letters. Believe it or not, they are digits, but they are written using a notation only a computer scientist would love. Here is the second secret. To read in hex codes, each set of 2 digits represents a number from 0 to 255. Sound familiar? The problem is that if we use numbers, we'll only be able to represent up to 99 in 2 digits, right? Well, not wanting to be constrained by something as simple as digits 0 or 299, computer scientists have decided they could represent all 256 values with the help of some letters to A to F. This is a hexadecimal system of numbering, or hex for short. Let's take a quick look at how hex codes really work, and then we'll show you how to get them from color charts or your photo editing application. So, the 2-minute grid to hex codes. The first thing you need to know about hex codes is that they aren't based on 10 digits or 0 to 9. They're based on 60 digits 0 to F. Here's how hex digit works. Using hex, you only need a single digit to count all the way from 0 to 15. When you get above 9, you start using letters. So if you see a hex number like B, you know that it just means level. But what does BB or E1 or FF mean? Let's disassemble a hex color and see what it actually represents. In fact, here's how you can do that for any hex color you might encounter. Step 1. Separate the hex color into its 3 components. Remember, it's that each hex color is made up of red, green and blue components. The first thing you want to do is separate those. Take your hex color and break it up into its red, green and blue components. Red, green, blue. And step 2. Convert each hex number into its decimal equivalent. Now that you have the components separated, you can compute the value for each from 0 to 255. Let's start with the hex number for red component. Take the rightmost number and write down its decimal value. Now take the leftmost number and convert it to its decimal value and also multiply it by 16. Finally, add these 2 numbers together. So 204 is the decimal equivalent of 16 hex. Step 3. Now do this for the other 2 values. Repeat the same method on the other 2 values. Here's what you should get. To calculate 66, you have 6 multiply 16 plus 6 is 0, 102. To calculate 0, 0, you have 0 multiply 16 plus 0 is equal 0. Step 4. There's no step 4. You're done. That's it. Now you got the numbers for each component and you will know exactly how much red, green and blue go into the color you can disassemble, and any hex color in exactly the same way. Now let's see how you usually determine what colors. Putting it all together. Exercise. You now got a few different ways to specify color. Take our orange color and make up of 800 80% red, 40% green and 0 blue. In CSS we could specify this color in any of these ways. RGB color, we're talking about this code, specified by the percentage of red, green, blue. Specify the amount of red, green and blue on the scale 0 to 255. Specify using a hex code. How to find web colors. The two most common ways to find web colors are use the color chart or an application like Photoshop Elements. Link on the about this video down. You'll also find a number of web pages that allow you to choose web colors to translate between RGB and hex codes. Let's check out Photoshop Elements. Most photo editing applications offer the same functionality. Most photo editing applications provide a color picker that allows you to visually choose your color by using one or more color spectrums. Color pickers also allow you to select only web-safe colors. We'll talk about this in a sec. Once you pick the color picker will show you the color as both RGB values and the hex code using an online color chart. You'll also find some useful color chart on the web. These charts typically display web colors that are arranged according to a number of different criteria with their corresponding hex code. Using this color is easy as choosing the colors you want in your page and copying to hex the hex codes in your CSS. This chart is maintained by Wikipedia at http and wikipedia.org/wiki/webcolors. You also find many other by searching for HTML colors charts. Try out the decorative name to see if it works across browsers. If it doesn't, then use the hex code instead. There are no dumb questions. I heard that if I don't use web-safe colors, my pages will never look right in all other browsers. Why haven't we talked about web-safe colors? Back in the early days of web browsers, few people had computer screens that supported a lot of colors, so their web-safe palette of colors was created to ensure that pages look consistent on most displays. Today the picture has changed drastically, and most web users have computer displays that support millions of colors, so unless you have a special set of users that you know have limited color displays, you can pretty much count web-safe colors as thing of the past. I know how to specify colors now, but how do I choose font colors that work well together? It would take an entire book to answer that question probably, but there are some basic guidelines to selecting font colors. The most important is to use colors with high contrast for the text and the background to aid readability. For instance, black text on the white background has the highest contrast. You don't always have to stick with black and white, but do try to use dark blue hue for the text and light blue hue for the background. Some colors, when used together, can create strange visual effects like blue and orange or red and green, so try your color combinations out on some frames before launching them on the world. I've seen hex codes like #CB0. What does it mean? You're allowed to use shorthand if each two-digit pair shares the same numbers. So, for instance, #CCBB00 can be abbreviated #CP0 or #11EEAA as #1EA. However, if your hex code is something like #CCB10, then you can't abbreviate it. And for last exercise, crack the safe challenge. Dr. Evil's master plans have been locked inside his personal safe, and you've just received a tip that he encoded the combination hex code In fact, so he won't forget the combination, he makes the hash code the background colors if for his home page. Your job is to crack his hex code and discover the combination to the safe. To do that, simply convert his web color into his red, green and blue decimal values, and you will have the right, left, right numbers of his combination. Here is the background web color from his page. Crack the code and then write combination here. And back to Tony's page, we're going to make the headings orange and add an underline 2. We'll talk about this in the next lesson, and on this our 51 lesson is over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, please. Put like, share with friends, comment, eat bananas, chocolate and nuts, drink more water for the effective work of our brains. Bye.